Then I choose this little spot on the couch. I do sometimes change this up. I'm Rebecca Hedger, and I'm going to talk about intimacy or friendship with Jesus with you guys. I think one of the biggest things that I learned over the years is that Jesus is a human. And it's like such a simple, really simple truth, but I just didn't know. I just was like, when I got saved and started following the Lord, I just thought that Jesus was like up there, like in this like big, huge, cloudy expanse with the Father, who was also like this really big spirit thing. And they just weren't personal. They were like these weird spirits up in the sky somewhere. And I think after getting in the Word and really seeking out, like, God, I want to know you, I like heard teachings and was reading in the Bible that like Jesus actually was a man, and that he actually stayed a man. And I think that helped me like know that after the resurrection, he still is a man. He still has flesh. He still has bones. He can still talk and hear me. And I think when I realized, oh gosh, Jesus was a human, he actually understands what it's like to be on the earth. He knows what it's like to have to sleep and to eat and to have friends who misunderstand him, and that he still is like that today. It was like, oh, I'm actually talking to a real person. I'm not just talking to a spirit. Like he has human emotions. He has human thoughts. He is God. He's fully man, but he understands that humanness. And I think when I realized I was talking to a human, that helped me tremendously to know that like I can actually talk to him and he gets me, and I can cry and I can laugh and I can have all these human emotions, and it's not bad. And he can sympathize with my weakness, Hebrew says, and that helped me a ton. I think also remembering that we are going to live forever. And that hurts my brain to think about too long, but like, we're going to live forever. And that means that like this is just the start of my friendship with Jesus, and I'm going to get to grow in intimacy and friendship and love with him for billions and billions and billions of years. And I think when I realize that like this part of my life is so special, because I get to have faith in my friendship with Jesus, and I get to seek him out without actually seeing him. And so when I think through that, I want that moment when I see Jesus face to face for the first time. I want to be able to look into his eyes and him to look into mine, and for there to be a history of friendship, and not just like oh, so you're Jesus. Like, nice to meet you. And for my friendship to start with him there. Like, I want as much of Jesus on this side of eternity as I can. And so if that means that there are times where I stay in on a Tuesday night because I want to dig more into the Word and pray and get to know him more, then that's like just as important as if I were to like go and hang out at a friend's house and watch a movie and develop friendship with them. Like, it's equally as important to me. And so it helps me to say yes to him a lot more when I realize like this is for the long haul, and this time on earth, having friendship with faith, I won't ever have that in eternity, because then I will see him and my faith will become sight. And so I want to get as much of Jesus on this side of eternity as I can. I think the biggest thing that has helped me throughout my entire Christian walk is that he actually loves me even in my weakness. And so it's not my sin. He doesn't love my sin, but he loves me, and he knows that I'm not perfect yet. And he knows that I am pursuing holiness, and for bigger words, like it's sanctification. It's learning how to grow more like Jesus, and saying no to things that were in my past or patterns of behavior that aren't holy, and pursuing it. It's like in those moments where maybe I fall back into an old pattern of thinking, or like I just wake up in a grumpy mood or whatever it is, like he still loves me in my weakness. And I think when I actually believe that, because I still wrestle through that even now, there are days where I'm like, gosh, do you even like me? But when I realize that he does, like he loves me in my weakness, then I can come to him about anything. And there's no barrier, there's no shame, there's no blockage or wall in my heart. And then that helps my friendship and my intimacy with him grow. Because then I'm not just trying to stand at a distance, trying to be perfect and trying to say the right things in my quiet time or say the right prayers or do the Christian thing. It's like I can be raw and real with him because he loves me no matter what. And when I can come to him in my weakness, like he really does show me his strength, and I feel his love, and our friendship only grows deeper. The same with a friend, like being vulnerable with a friend. Like we can try to be these perfect friends with everybody, but it's like those moments when you're nitty gritty where you let your friends just cry with you, or you tell them like the hard stuff you're going through. It's the same with Jesus, and you only grow more in depth and in friendship with him. I think one of the things that was hard and still can be hard sometimes is I just want to be perfect for Jesus. Like I want to have my perfect quiet time. I want to have my perfect prayers. I want to have my perfect Bible study plan. And I just want to do things to really impress him and to, just like show him like I'm really committed as your friend. And that's just not what friendship is. Like I don't do that with my earthly friends. Why would I do that with Jesus? There are some times like where I have quiet times where I'm like, Jesus, I'm just not feeling it. Like I just feel bored and I have nothing really new to say. And I feel like sometimes those moments are sometimes like the most impactful because I'm just real. And I'm just like, okay, well, I have nothing else to read, Lord. Is there anything you want to say? Because I'm kind of bored right now. Whereas maybe in years past, I just would have been like, gosh, I'm a failure. Like, I don't have the right prayers right now. And I'm not showing the Lord that I love him. And am I really committed? And I just doubt like my own value and worth before him. And so being able to move past that and just be myself and have real raw moments with the Lord and not come to him trying to be perfect helped me a lot. I think we can often like be very stoic with the Lord because we think he's really stoic. And so if I really do believe that he has human emotions and feelings, then he's also like the funniest man that ever lived. And he's hilarious and he has jokes, and he isn't so stoic and serious all the time. And so in my friendship with him, like I look for ways that Jesus is funny, and then I can like talk to him more because then he just feels maybe a bit more real. And I think that's helped me a ton, is realizing that Jesus isn't like this stoic man in a robe on a throne. Like he is like the King of Kings, and he does have a real throne, and he probably sometimes wears a robe, but it's like he isn't just that. Like he's also goofy and funny, and he has fun things to say, and he's fun, and he's adventurous, and he likes to take risks. And when I think through that, then I'm a little bit more relaxed, and I don't feel like I have to come to him as this stoic God, and I have to think through like, how do I talk to like the King of the universe, you know? Instead I'm like, oh, I'm coming to Jesus, who's my friend. So even, I feel like even in like the last 6 months, there was this like month or so where I just felt like, I feel like I'm in a rut. Like, what is going on, Lord? And I think for me, the thing that helped was that I just stayed consistent. I could get really frustrated or really annoyed with myself or feel like I'm a failure. And so instead I was like, nope, I'm going to still get up every morning, even if we don't get through 10 pages of the Bible, or I don't feel like I'm weeping before the Lord or have this incredible moment of revelation. Instead, I'm thinking like, okay, Lord, like this still counts. Like not every time when I meet with a friend for coffee, are we having this epic moment where all of a sudden we're like, we are the best of friends and we're crying about it. Like if I think about it in like human terms, I'm like, oh, sometimes you just hang out with friends and it's just normal. And you talk about random fun things. And sometimes it's really deep and it's really intentional. And so to help me in a rut, I have to remember that Jesus is human and we're just normal. And I'm a human and I'm normal. And so I'll still just get up though. I'll still try to read through the word. Sometimes I'll just pray in those mornings, and sometimes all I'm praying is, Jesus, help me to love you more. Help me to get through this rut. Help me to persevere. What are you thinking and what are you feeling in this season? Like, what are maybe some keys that are going to help me get through feeling a little bit bored right now? And sometimes I don't even feel it in the moment, but I'll feel it 3 hours later in a meeting where he'll be like, hey, this is what I was thinking. And I'm like, couldn't you have just said that earlier? But I'm so thankful because then I remember, oh yeah, this is a friendship. Like you can talk to me throughout the day and you're not an ATM machine. I'm not just going to get things when I want them. We're growing in communicating. We're growing in friendship. And yeah. Everybody's friendship with Jesus is going to look different because not all of your friendships on earth are the same. Like people are different. And so the way that I relate to Jesus and maybe talk to him about things is going to be different than you or Andy Bird or John Mark and so I think this is just one way that I do it, but it's not the only way. For the past 3 years, I've lived with 3 Canadians, and my house is filled with Canadian propaganda.